Londoner Dexter Fletcher started out as a child actor. He was in Bugsy Malone. To others, he'll always be Spike from the TV kids show Press Gang. And to those in the 90s, he's from Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels. But now he's a director, and his latest hit movie is Rocketman, telling the story of Elton John's rise from a dull pinner cul-de-sac to the top of the American charts, and charting the singer's battle to find himself amidst the drink, drugs and giant costumes.
Well, you could be the best-selling artist in America if you desire. I was trying to do something bold. Why are you still something flashy?
Can you even play the piano in those?
Let them know who you are. And just don't kill yourself with drugs.
And the man putting those magnificent tunes and those amazing costumes on the screen is Dexter Fletcher, who joins me now. Dexter, welcome to What's on Vera. Lovely to see you.
Very much. Good to see you too.
I was in Cannes for the premiere of Rocketman with you, Taron Egerton, Elton playing on the piano at the party. What was that moment like for you?
The party itself was a great moment because it was sort of all the tension and all the stress and all the worry. We were then over that hump because the film itself had not long been finished before that. I mean, I was QCing it. I was quality checking it on the Friday in London, in Soho. And then by the Thursday, we were all there in Cannes watching it. And so that's not a lot of time for me to really finish it and get it out there. And for Elton and Bernie Taupin and David Furnish and Matthew Vaughn and yourself. So that part of it was quite intense, I suppose, nerve-wracking.
The reception was brilliant, though. Everyone loved it. I loved it. There was a lot of love for the film. And it's not, you wouldn't think it's an art house Cannes sort of movie, but it's a musical for you.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the aim. And I think once we'd had really serious discussion, Matthew Vaughn and David Furnish and Elton and myself, about it being a undiluted and all-out musical. That's something I really embraced, obviously, and was very excited about. And I knew that Taron had this incredible singing voice that he'd not really had a chance to use and or exploit. And I knew that was our kind of secret weapon.
Me and Susie had so much fun holding hands and skimming out stones. Had no girl Chevy and a place of my own, but the biggest thing I ever got.
Was you instrumental in casting Taron Egerton?
The honest answer is no, in that Taron was kind of attached before I was in a lot of respects, because Taron and Matthew Vaughn were working on Kingsman 2, which Elton John is in. Matthew also produced Eddie the Eagle, which I'd worked on with Taron and directed that. And that was very successful. We had a lot of fun and it was very fruitful. And so I think they were on the set and they kind of were having this serious discussion about Taron playing Elton. And I got whisper of it through Taron. And I was like, that's a really great idea. It's a really good idea. It's a great bit of casting. And so I was like, okay, how do I approach Matthew and tell him I want to direct this? But I then got a call from Matthew and he just started talking to me like I was doing it. And so I was like, okay, that's great. Because, it's not unusual, you get wind of something and then you have to put together your pitch and you go in, you say, I want to do it because of... But Matthew and I go way back to Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels days. And he's always been very supportive of all the films that I've made. Particularly Eddie the Eagle, which he produced, and I think it was a bit of a no-brainer for him. He put it together.
Pretty tight in here tonight. I'm looking for a dolly who'll see me right. I'm use a little muscle to get what I need. I'm a take a little drink and shout out, she's with me. Can't pull out the sounds that I really like. Are the sounds of a switchblade and a motorbike. I'm a juvenile product of the working class. Through the front floor till the bottom of the glass.
What was your pitch for it? I mean, because it's got such amazing, dazzling, inventive musical numbers in it. But at the heart, it's also this love story between Bernie Taupin and Elton John, between Taron Egerton and Jamie Bell.
Yes, it was, and that's something that developed over time. But initially, when I sat with David and I spoke to him about it, I was very interested in this kind of nature of the character Elton when we meet him being someone who really was at odds with himself and very conflicted about who he was and how he was living his life and where he'd got to in this incredible journey. And that's why the film opens with him entering rehab, because we're really exploring a man's life from the perspective of, how do I make myself better? How do I do something about who I am?
And how was Elton John with all this when you pitched it to him?
Elton was very cool and open about it. I pitched to David, and I got a phone call on the Monday, and they said Elton would love to have lunch with you on Wednesday. And I said, oh, fantastic. So I knew that things were going in the right direction. I was now getting to sit with the great man himself.
Fish and chips? What did you have?
It wasn't fish and chips. It was a burger. But it was a bunless burger, which was a first for me. It was wrapped in lettuce. But anyway, it was in Vegas and I was in London, and so I had to get on a plane and fly to Vegas because he was doing shows there, which is the furthest I'd ever been for a burger, I suppose, really. But we were meant to sit down for lunch for an hour because he was obviously very busy. And 4 hours later, he suddenly went, "Oh, I've got to go and do a show. I'm sorry," So he was very open very quickly and wanted to do well.
So how does it feel to be a star?
It's never going to last.
Let's just enjoy it while we can.
If our sleeping arrangements get out, all of this is gone.
I just hope you realise you're choosing a life of being alone forever.
Don't you want to just sing without this ridiculous paraphernalia?
People don't pay to see Reg White. They pay to see Elton John.
Sorry.
Right now.
What's your favourite number from the whole musical?
It's difficult because it changes a lot, and certainly when we were in editing and I was creating them. I loved Honky Cat. I loved the kind of fun exuberance of Elton sort of being in love for the first time and spending money and learning what excess was. This kid from Pinner sort of buying art and Rolls Royces and houses and football teams and all this kind of grandeur that he got into. But I think Rocketman, the actual centrepiece of the film, not only is it a great song, but has so many great images within the stadium, and there's like a little ballet in the middle of it where they change him. So I'm very proud of that.
And then you've got your song, which is sort of everyone's favourite song, has been reinterpreted by thousands of people. It's been in different movies, and then you've got to be that. It's one of those eureka moments.
Yeah.
You've got to try and inject that with freshness and newness.
Yeah, but the incredible thing about Elton is that, that's one of the songs in the film that I don't treat as a fantasy. I try to do it as realistically as possible, because there's a great old Arena documentary from 1971 or something. There's great archive material on Elton and Bernie, but there's one where they've just got back from an American tour and Elton is sitting at a piano writing Tiny Dancer, and he's got the lyrics in his hand. He's going, and I read this bit, and he says ballerina, and then I know it's going to be a ballad, and he puts it on the piano and he just starts sort of working out Tiny Dancer. And I was like, this is absolutely amazing. And the story that you hear about Elton is that he gets it, he hears the tune, and it sort of comes out really quickly. And that's the moment. It's a very inspired moment.
Feeling empty.
I could hear the whole tune in my head. It was all there, I could see all the notes, and I just had to get it out.
It's a little bit funny, this feeling inside.
If you had to do an Elton John karaoke, what would you do? What number would you do?
Oh, blimey. I do like Amarina. It's one of the earlier deep cuts. It's not such a well-known track.
They won't have that.
No, they probably won't. You're right. So I'd go for either. But so Benny and the Jets has got some really high bits. You've got to have some pipes to do that. Your song. I'll go for your song.
You can have that,
and everyone can sit there and sway.
And they can help you. And
Yeah.
you can tell everybody. Dexter.
Yeah, I can tell everybody.
you as a director now, this has put you at the top of the pile. This has been a huge hit for you.
Yeah.
Who have you met along the way on this journey that has surprised you as a result of sort of having now mixed with Elton and having a major hit movie?
Yeah, I've come into contact with some really amazing people, both from behind the camera and in front. It's always nice when you meet Al Pacino, and I mean I've known him a long time ago from my acting days, but literally 30+ years ago. And he says, "I've seen your movie 7 times. I love it. Where's that guy Taron? Where's he? You know." And that's a great moment. Or you know, you sit with Robert Downey Jr. and he says, "Hey man, you're a great filmmaker." It's like, wow. He says, and he said, Robert did say to me, he was the first person to say to me, he said, "What's it like to be an A-list director?" And I was like, wow, that's how people think. And that was like, and it took me about 3 days to get over that.
Is that it now? You're a director. There's no more acting.
Until someone offers me some acting. I mean, I would never act in my own films. That's one thing I've vowed never to do, other than maybe a small walk-on part for a bit of fun. I was acting 40 years since I was a kid, and had some amazing highs and lows and sideways, and I worked with incredible people, and I want to keep doing that. And the exciting thing about where my career is now is that I've sort of changed lanes and maybe found something that I was even more kind of suited to than what I thought I was. With directing, there's always something to develop and move, and that's very exciting. And
yeah, well, fantastic to see you so busy. Really, it makes me very happy.
Cheers,
and
thank
so
you.
busy that you managed to find time to come and see us, and I'm very grateful for
Always,
that. So Dexter
always.
Fletcher, thank you very much
Thanks,
for coming
Jason.
on.
Thank you.